And we're back. So, Chris,
Yeah.
if I was to say to you, this new Jurassic movie was going to be R-rated, first of all, what would be your initial reaction? And secondly, would you have any concerns about it being an R-rated?
Initial reaction is it is really split in two because I'd love to see a proper dark R-rated Jurassic movie. However, I think it would harm the franchise too much if it did go that way, because one, merchandise and toy sales would, I think, be massively hit, because after kids aren't going to see it until it gets to homes on DVD, and that's if the parents actually let them watch it. Secondly, what I won't want them to do is go for gore for the sake of it, and then that then affects the story just because they're going for gore because they've got that R rating. That would be my only major concern with it. Like, for instance, if you take Jurassic World and you change that to be an R-rated movie, like, that was written as a, if you like, a family story, a family tale. But if you start putting all the gore in that, it's fine. But if you set out with that as being gore as the main thing because you've got that R rating and think, oh, we can push the envelope on this, I don't know whether it would affect the story and whether they get a different director into, you know what I mean? Because as good as Gareth Edwards is, I wouldn't put him down as being a proper gore. I would say he's more of a storyteller. So that's why I was surprised when this kind of R rating theory kind of or rumor pops up. But yeah, I'd be okay with it, but I would rather have an R-rated Jurassic series as opposed to a movie, I think.
Yeah. See, for me, like, I love the idea of it being an R-rated. I really, really do. Because I'm a big fan of the Alien films. I like horror to a certain element. I like it. I like some things in horror. Others I can take and leave. Like, I really like Saw. I know you're not a huge fan of Saw. Is that right?
I watched the first one and I watched the second one, and
Okay.
it was fine. It's
just not your sort of movie. Yeah. See, for me,
yeah,
I
like horror films. There's quite
Yeah.
a few different kinds of horror films that I like, but Saw just not particularly one of them.
Yeah, see, for me, I really like the Saw films. I've seen all 10 of them. I think they're great. And the reason I like them is more so because I think I like the underlining story of his condition that he's got and what he does. Although he's a bit of a psychopath, but
Yeah,
he's a psychopath in the way of, like, in his head, he's doing it for. He's like Thanos. He's doing it for the good of mankind.
Yeah.
But obviously it doesn't, justify what he's doing. Allosaurus says, I would love to see an R-rated Jurassic movie. So for me, like, I do like R-rated movies, and Alien being an over 15, I think it is. Did I say it was 18? It was 18, wasn't it?
18, I think it is Alien, yeah.
Which is R-rated in America. I think it suits that rating because I think it's to do with, obviously, the language, the violence with guns, the violence on how the people die, obviously, and it's quite a lot of deaths in their movies. Predator is very similar.
Yeah.
I think Predator actually justifies the rating of an R rating better than Alien. I think Alien, you could drop down a rating and get away with it. Because going through all of the movies, you don't see any sexual scenes. It gets.
I don't know. She gets it on with an alien in one of them, don't you?
You don't see it. You don't see it.
No, yeah.
And obviously, it's insinuated that she gets it on with one of the
xenomorphs.
No, Ripley gets on with one of the commander people.
Oh yeah,
in Alien 3. prison compound, right?
Mhm.
It's just it's not on screen. It's not it's just insinuated that happened. So obviously there's that
It's fine.
yeah. And you don't more of like you see people getting gored with the spike and that sort of thing, but a lot of the deaths are actually off screen.
Mm.
Like they are, a lot of them are off screen, especially in the new one. Like you see, like the new Alien movie, Romulus, is for me very similar to the first one in a lot of ways of the confined, um, small cast. You know, they're going room to
Yeah.
room, dealing with different situations. Did you see Romulus?
Not yet, no. I was
You
on holiday
haven't.
when it came out.
Okay. So in that respect, but it's really strange how like that is still classed as an R rating 18. And
Mm.
whereas Predator, you literally see people you actually see them hung,
True,
skinned,
yeah.
blood, guts, everything. And it's that's a proper, I feel like that's proper for me. So it's a bit of a strange one, but I would love to see what an 18 Jurassic would be like. And
Oh, I'd love it.
I think it would be quite close to how the novels
Mm.
depiction
Definitely.
depiction of the violence is.
Mhm.
Because the rest of the novel is very Jurassic Park how we know it.
Yeah.
Very PG. Bit, I guess the language used in the book, I would say, is very 12 at
Yeah.
least, because a lot of the language in the book is is over is over most children's heads. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't have read that at least until I was 12. That book. Some people say, "Oh, I read Jurassic Park was," but did you really understand what was going on? Probably not.
I probably read it. I
I
think I
think I
read it when
was.
I was about 12 or 13, I think, when I read it.
See, I think I was older than that. I don't think I read it until I was a teenager, like a proper, like, sort of
But
15,
I
16.
would probably say I remember reading it because me nana got me on hardback, but I remember reading it, but I probably didn't really read it properly, I would say, and I would say probably understand the book properly until I was maybe 16 or 17 when I actually read it again and read it properly, and that's probably when I got a better understanding of everything in the book, but I do remember reading it at quite a young age. But
Yeah.
do you know
No,
one thing that I think would, as much as I'd like an R rating, I think it'd be such a shame for those who've gone and watched like the last couple of films as being like younger kids and thinking, oh, there's another Jurassic coming out, and then they can't go and see it because it's R rated.
yeah.
I think that's
That's
quite a bit
well,
of a
that's
shame.
well, that's what we're going to get to. That's probably something where I guess the pros and cons of this are the pros of the R rating is that we will get to see the violence that we want to see. Like we want to see, people being, I guess, jumped on by raptors and seeing
But would you not
like.
prefer to see that in a TV show where they can go through like maybe 10 or 12 episodes of a season
I
of
mean,
hour long
yeah.
episodes?
I mean, yeah. Of course, I would. But then that would mean that the rating would still need to be high.
Yeah, but then kids don't necessarily have to watch a TV show.
No, but that'll only work if it doesn't. If its market employ isn't to sell toys. Now, if it's because the moment you don't make it about the dinosaurs is the moment that it becomes, I guess, a sequel filler.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like a Battle at Big Rock,
Mhm.
something like
I'll
that.
say that Battle Big Rock is one of my favourite parts that they've
I
ever
love
released
Battle
for
at
anything
Big Rock.
Jurassic.
Yeah, Jurassic World and Battle at Big Rock are probably my favourite. Like out of the newer stuff that we've ever
Yeah.
had. It's just a shame that we didn't get, I guess, more of them. I'd have loved to got another one of those short films.
I thought that's the way they was going to go, especially leading up to like some of the other films and stuff, just releasing these little shorts to keep you kind of intrigued in between movies and stuff like that. And then it just never happened. But I'd look forward to seeing an R rating. Don't get me wrong. If you give me an R rated Jurassic movie, I'll lap it up all day long. But as long as it doesn't affect the story just because it's R rated.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is that
How
when you
hard
watch
you
it,
go.
yeah, when you're watching Alien, the whole time you're watching Alien, you're not really going. I really hope they make it to the.
Yeah. You're like, I hope the alien finds him and punches its tongue into his chest.
Yeah,
Like,
you want the alien to find them,
it's like, where's the face huggers?
especially the most annoying characters that you're just like, well, you're
Mhm.
going to die because you're just a dick.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the well, I guess with Jurassic, you're not really it's not really shown in that sort of way, is it?
No.
You know, it's more about science than it is about, you know, not liking these characters. I think story, like obviously story does make a big difference. Like you were saying, with if the story isn't there, then it just becomes
A gore
about
fest.
a gore fest, and then you have that's where like the more rubbish movies of these franchises sort of come in.
What I would like them to do is, because Gareth Edwards is a good storyteller, I'd like for him to, even if he's obviously not come up with the story, I'm sure he's kind of pitched in with it, but like get the story in place, get a good story, and think, right, here's where we can fit a good R rating gore bit in, and do it like that, as opposed to saying, right, let's just make a really gory movie where dinosaurs are shredding people.
Yeah, I think that it would be my other concern is if Jurassic was an R-rated film, is it would lose the magic
Mhm.
of a dinosaur film, and it would become more of a monster film. Now, I know it sounds really contradictory because last week on this podcast I was saying how I want the dinosaurs to be monsters again, which does sound very contradictory, but I want the balance. And I think that's where Jurassic Park and The Lost World, they had the balance. They had the animals
Mhm.
and the monsters
The suspense.
and the suspense. So the original was more about they had the magic from the herbivores and they had the monsters from the carnivores. The Lost World explored the science and the parental behavior of these animals and the territorial areas that you don't go there. That's T Rex territory. That's blah blah blah, and how they sort of live as animals but still act like monsters.
Yeah.
And then Jurassic Park 3 was kind of like a mashed up version of those two together in on like 1.5 speed. And I think that's why the original trilogy kind of still holds up,
Yeah.
and it's what a lot of the stuff that everyone still wants.
Mhm.
And the newer films, they've tried to go a different direction by exploring a different route. Obviously, they've remade the park, they made it fresh, they made it shiny. That automatically, as much as I absolutely adored the design of the park, it automatically screams safety.
Yeah.
It
Like
does.
in one of my favorite bits that still gives me kind of goosebumps whenever it does it is when Gray bursts out of the shutters and sees the park kind of for the first time and the music kicks in. I don't think you get a scene like that in an R-rated Jurassic film.
No, I think the magic of these moments you won't get,
No.
because the audience wouldn't. That's not the intention of an R-rated film, is it? Like if they showed, let's just for example picture this film being an R-rated, right? And there's a scene where you've got Scarlett Johansson and the guy that's playing the paleontologist, and
Yeah.
they're sat on a cliff edge and they're looking over. They're high up on a mountain somewhere in the jungle, and looking over, and you've got like a little brachiosaurus head pops up here, and like you got that tranquility scene with this lovely sunset dropping in the back. Like that's something I would expect from a PG, like because it's on every kid's
Yeah.
wall as a mural on every dinosaur poster. It just signifies that perfectly. You're not going to get that in an R-rated film because I just don't think they would bother wasting time with it. It would be more focused on what's coming next. Where's the next?
No, I know we're talking about it going R-rated and We hope it doesn't go too kind of gore fest, so to speak. But here's a question: how gory do you think they would go? What would be a scene you would
I
expect
don't
to see?
think I don't think we'll get anything worse than what we've seen in Jurassic World.
I think we'd get something a little bit more, because then why put the R rating on it? I don't think they're going to go like slasher kind of gory, but I do think we're going to see a lot more kind of the dinosaurs kind of. I don't think we'll see him feasting on flesh, but I think like Muldoon, for instance, that scene, I think we would see that unblurred without the leaves in the way and stuff like that. I think we'd see a bit more of it.
What now?
Yeah. If
Yeah.
if Jurassic Park was R rated, for instance, I think we would
Oh
see
yeah,
that
sorry,
scene.
yeah, 100%. You'd
You know
see
what I mean?
everything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think I just hope they don't push it too far, but I think like we'll definitely see a lot more now. That
I
if it
think
does
you'd
go R rated.
I think it'd be so. Allosaurus said, I think it would be a little bit more brutal than the Lost World. Mike says, but then Scarlett would shout, "Oh, it's going to kill us!" and shoot it with a bazooka. That's another thing. I think the second you make these animals R-rated, is that it's going to be a gun fest.
Yeah.
It will be aliens. It will be aliens. Oh, I'll tell you what it'd be like: the arcade game.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've also meant the 1998 one, the Lost World one.
Yeah.
But the newer arcade game, which is
Mhm.
like got bloody ice blasted and everything. It's quite fun. I love it. Wrong models though. I don't like the models, but they it's a good fun game to play in the arcades.
Yeah.
That would be a concern of mine, and I'm trying to think of what else like. So I'm just trying to think of replacing Alien Romulus with, instead of xenomorphs having aliens, having like a raptor. I think that would work, and I think it'd work alone as a standalone movie. I don't think it would work being R-rated as a franchise film, because I think the second that you put this movie above a 12A or 30 PG-13, the whole of the others as a collective will have to go up.
Yeah.
And I think as a standalone movie, it would work almost like a Rogue One, a Star Wars story, say, for example.
It
And it
doesn't
could be,
detract from the main trilogy, but if you wanted to include it, it adds to it.
yeah, like you could call it, you could call it Velociraptor.
Mhm.
It's a Jurassic World story, so it's a single alone film, like Battle at Big Rock.
Mhm.
A nice enclosed claustrophobic film that's about one or two animals in a confined space, and your cast members have to survive. I don't know, just using it as an example.
Yeah. The issue with doing something like that is you can do it as a one-off, but unlike something like Star Wars, where you can put that in a different part of the galaxy on a totally unrelated story, these dinosaurs are connected through every film. So it's harder to do it with Jurassic, but I get what
it still wouldn't work if you was to put it in, because then it would still bring the age
but
rating up of
canonically,
everything.
it could still technically work, but
Yeah.
for those of a certain age, it'd only work.
Now, how would you, like, you touched on it earlier about the TV series? Would you squeeze a TV series in, like, how? Because obviously, I know the Star Wars timeline. They do
Mhm.
feed these. They put the movie timeline, and they slot these TV shows inside. But you can't buy the TV shows on hard copy.
No. Well, some of them they said they were going to release, but I don't think they ever did. Apparently,
And
I
the
think
whole
the
time,
Mandalorian stuff was meant to be released.
exactly, and that's the positive of the Mandalorian is, and that is the fact that it's on. Oh, my focus gone out.
I know.
What's going on? It's gone out of
There you
Disney.
go.
It's on Disney Plus, isn't it?
Mhm.
So you've got the streaming. Whereas Jurassic has got that. What's it called?
What?
What's that? What's it called? Not Paramount. What's the Jurassic stuff on? There's a
Oh,
Universal one, isn't there?
oh, it's not.
It's a TV. It's a news show. I can't think of it. Someone in the chat
No.
help us out.
I can't. Yeah, I can't think of what it's called.
What's the streaming service for
It's
Universal?
It's not Hulu.
No, someone's going to put it in the chat.
Yeah, someone put it in the chat because I can't remember.
No. Yeah, so unless it's on something like that, then I think we could probably get away with like something a bit of a higher rating, because it's based on the story of Michael Crichton and Jurassic World.
Yeah,
but it doesn't necessarily link when you buy it in a movie theater, in a movie shop where you want to get the DVDs and hard copy. It doesn't link. You can use it. It's part of the canon. It's got all the lore in it.
Yeah, like you just said, like I think if it's a movie, it has to connect with the previous stories. But if it was a TV show, that could technically work. Kind of, you could go to a random place in America where dinosaurs have been running loose, and it could be your own story within that area. Because if you did a movie, Peacock, that was it. Well done, Mike.
Mickey.
But yeah, if you did like a TV show, you can do that as a little bit of a breakaway without affecting the movies too much. But if you're doing anything that changes the story too much, it has to be in the movie. But I mean, I think what they did with Terra Nova was really good. I used to love Terra Nova. I'm so
love Terra Nova. That was
stopped.
What was Terra? Was a 12?
I think it was. Yeah,
it was 12 because probably because of the death-related stuff. Yeah. So anyway, guys, that is the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe, and click the notification bell, and then you'll see all of our other videos. We normally go live on Thursdays. If you're also new and you like gaming, please check out our gaming channel, which is the Gaming Isle. I think Chris will probably put it up in the chat. He's normally, I can see his little faces on it. Click the link, and if you like Fortnite and the Isle game, the dinosaur role-playing game, then we play that quite. That's what the channel's mainly based on. We play that quite every Tuesday night. We're live, see you again soon. Only one thing left to say, Chris.
Life will find a way.
Thanks to everyone in the chat. Bye bye.